Hello there guys, it's your Bulkaun here, back again on a video, and today I'm going to do what if Deku can use Ultra Instinct part 16. Hope you enjoy it. So last part we covered the summer camp, and at the beginning everything seems okay, with Deku and Naofumi still being the same, competing against each other and just make sure they get stronger. But in the third day or third night, they get attacked by the League of Villains. So after Deku flies off to find Koda, he fought Muscular, and after defeating him, it's revealed that he only fought a clone. So when Deku grabbed Koda and fly back to the camp, he meet the real Muscular and Dabi, and they reveal they are after Deku because the big boss want him. After that they split into two to fight the villains. Deku and Naofumi take on Muscular, and the teachers of the pros take on the rest. And that fight pushed Deku and Naofumi beyond their limit, especially when they are already tired from the training. But after seeing Koda's bravery, that gave him the push to go beyond their limits and punish Muscular so hard that sent him flying through the mountain, completely destroying it in the process. After that a black portal opened up, taking everyone from the League of Villains. And I think that's it for the recap. Let's begin. After the fight, Mandali used her cook to call everyone back to the camp, and obviously the police were called and paramedics, especially for Naofumi. His left hand is pretty much broken, and Deku is not responding. And the others except Baku and Todoroki are pretty much okay, because they didn't get attacked by any Numu in this fight. Because if you guys remember in part 12, Deku did get attacked by two Numus, so they don't have any more in stock for now. So because of that they can't track them back to the hideout. So that means that there is no fight between All Might and All For One. So basically one of the coolest fights that happened in My Hero Academia just got skipped. After that everyone was taken to the hospital to do some checkup, just in case, and because there is a villain that have toxic gas. So after a couple of hours Naofumi was healed, but not fully because he's already tired from the training and the fight. He doesn't have any more energy to spend, so Recovery Girl was not able to heal him fully yet. Fast forward another hour and Deku just woke up. He's still tired, but he's glad that he's still in one piece, and he still have his clothes on. Then Naofumi tell him, finally awake. Then Deku asks Naofumi what happened. Naofumi tell him, well, the villains escape, you passed out from the exhaustion, and I broke my arm. Recovery Girl will heal it, but I need to rest first. Deku tell him, sorry. For what? Naofumi asks. We did our best, we are lucky we're still alive. Deku tell him, you did your best, but I didn't. What do you mean? Naofumi asks him. Again? You are holding back? Deku tell him, no, yes, sort of. I don't know how to describe it. Or I know how to describe it, but... Naofumi tell him to calm down, take a deep breath, and explain step by step. Deku tell him, when I fought All Might, I felt something deep within me, more power than before, and I was able to reach somewhat in the fight. That's why I was able to beat him. Then Naofumi tell him, that's great, you can get even more stronger. Deku tell him, that's not it. The way I was able to reach that power, or the trigger for it, it's selfishness. Naofumi tell him, selfishness? Deku tell him, exactly. Do you know what the real meaning of Ultra Instinct? I mean the name. Naofumi shook his head. Deku tell him, it means the secret of selfishness. At first I thought that was weird, but the more I use this power, the more I realized that the name actually fitted. Each time I get hurt or almost going to die, it will activate. But that have its limits. For me, or I mean for us, me and the Ultra Instinct power. To reach our full potential, I need to accept it, and if I do, I don't know if I can be a hero anymore, because I will constantly be thinking about myself. Yes, I'll be stronger. Yes, maybe I can save more people. But if someone attack me, let's say almost like your attack, the Nova Flash, my body will move and leave whoever behind me open. Naofumi did not utter a word. Then he finally spoke and told Deku, Izuku, you are overthinking. What did you just describe? It's just human nature. Your quirk just amplify it, that's it. It's okay to fear for your well-being. Everyone does. Deku tell him, yeah, I know, but not to that extreme. Then they are interrupted by the class just barging in. They're glad they are okay, especially the girls. They're glad that Deku finally woke up. Then Naofumi tell them, hey, I'm the one who got hurt, remember? He just fell asleep. Mine looked at him and tell him, no one cares, Naofumi. Then Deku tell them, ouch, that hurt. And Naofumi tell him promptly to shut up. After that, fast forward a couple of days, NUA decide to do the dorm system because they want to keep the students safe. and all the parents are okay with it. So everyone move into the dorms, they settle in, and the next day Aizawa tell them that they have to work on their final moves. Well, technically Deku and Naofumi have their final moves, the Nova Flash for Naofumi and Ultra Flash for Deku, but still maybe they can figure out something else. Plus, Naofumi did try to talk to Deku about being a hero, but sadly he wasn't able to get through to him. So that leads us directly to the exam that will let them have a hero license. Even though All Might is still in the picture, you will still see that the students need to have license at least to protect themselves, especially after what happened in the summer training camp. So when they exit the bus, it's not the same as the anime, with Aizawa meeting Joker and the misunderstanding between Inasa and Todoroki. So after explaining the first stage of the exam, Class 1A got attacked by the other schools, and that forced the class to split. So Todoroki fought the ninjas, and he was able to beat them the same way he did in the anime. Same goes with the fight between Kirishima and Bakugo and Kaminari versus that guy. Yeah, I don't care about his name, so they dealt with him the same way they did in the anime. And Deku is using his ability to sense ki to watch or monitor how everybody is doing, until he starts feeling the wind start changing. He looked behind him and see Inasa using his quirk to form a massive tornado. And after some students tried to attack Deku, he easily dealt with them and he advanced to the next stage. Same goes for the other students of Class 1A. So we start the second stage, and at first it seemed easy, just some rescue missions. Then they hear an explosion and Orc and some of his lackeys shows up pretending to be villains. So the students have to choose between rescue and fighting. And while everybody is thinking what to do, Deku and Naofumi look at each other and nod. Some Orc lackeys saw them, but Deku made quick work of them. Meanwhile, Naofumi is using his black whip to save the hostages or the injured. Plus, with the help of Deku, he was able to evolve his Nova Flash, and now he is able to fire some almost like death beam from his fingers for more precise attacks. Even though they are not as strong as his Nova Flash, it will help with dealing with weaker villains. And everyone saw that, even Orc. He commented that these two will make a great team. One is caring for the civilians and the other one is protecting everyone, or make sure the villains stay at bay. So he decided to chime in and try to attack Deku, but Deku was able to sense him from miles away. So they clashed for a bit, and Orc realized that Deku is strong and fast, but their fight was stopped by an explosion. Well, Orc stopped first, then Deku didn't ask him what's going on. Isn't this a part of the training or the exam? Orc shook his head and told him that it's supposed to be only us. Then when the smoke started clearing, they see some Numu standing there. Everyone is shocked and terrified. Then a black portal opened up and Shigaraki and the rest of his squad walk out of it. And with them a man in a suit, and it's all for one. Deku immediately felt a chill down his spine and said, "What is this key? It's completely dark. It can't be a human, is it?" Then he tell Orc to call off the exam. They need to evacuate right now. He nod and do just that. Then Deku call for Naofumi and tell him where the rest of the people are under the rubble, and he need to save them fast. He nod and he start using his black whip to save them. Then Deku can sense a drastic increase in power from the stands, and it's All Might. Yes, All Might is here because why not? Plus, I think he's a teacher of Class 1A, so I think he have the right to see his students. And with what happened in the summer camp, he still felt guilty, so he wanted to protect them if anyone shows up. And they did, but he wasn't ready to fight all for one. Or he's ready, but he knows that he have a time limit, so he need to finish this quick. So he clashed with All for One, sending a shockwave that pushed everyone away from them. And every hero, and yes, some students are helping. But Aizawa is busy with the Numus, because he remembered that the Numus are strong without a quirk. So using his quirk with the help of some students, mainly Sato, Kirishima, Kaminari, they're able to have their own. Meanwhile, Deku is fighting Muscular, and when he saw Deku, he grinned and tell him, "You know that I can still feel that punch, and I want to pay you back for that." Deku did not utter a word, just power up. So they start fighting, and Muscular quickly realized that Deku is different from the last fight. He's faster, stronger, and all of this is because Deku last time was completely exhausted, so was near his limits. But right now he's at 100%. Sure, maybe they are equal in strength, but in terms of speed and reflexes, Deku is in a league of his own. Although it took him quite a bit of power, he was able to defeat him. Then he looked behind him to see the fight between All Might and All for One, and he saw it. All Might's skinny form. And of course the fight did draw some reporters, so everyone saw All Might's skinny form. Then when All for One started doing his speech about how weak All Might is and how pitiful he is, he got hit square in the chest at him flying, and the one who punched him was Deku at 100%. And when All for One realized who hit him, Naofumi leaped at him, charging 50% of One for All, punching him, sending him crashing to the ground. Although the punch did not do a lot of damage, in the opposite it hurt Naofumi a bit because he's not used to 50% yet. This combined attack was able to give them enough time to take All Might to safe distance. He was tired. Everyone is. But All For One is not giving him any time to rest. He looked at Kurogiri and nodded. Kurogiri opened up a portal and several Nomus walk out of it. Everyone is panicking. All Might is weakened. Naofumi can barely use his right hand because of the attack. So Deku quickly realized if they want to stand a chance, he needs to get rid of Kurogiri. Then they can focus on All For One. So he powered up and fly at him. He was able to land a fierce punch to his weak spot that knocked him out. But then he got attacked by All For One air cannon. Or he didn't get completely attacked, he was able to block it because of UI. Basically he got hit. And that attack was quite powerful. And All For One applauded him for his power. And tell him, I should want myself if I want to get you because you are really strong, kid. Deku tell him, want me? Wait a second, you are the big boss that the group were talking about in the camp. All For One nod and tell him you are correct. I just couldn't handle myself. I need to get your power for myself. It's rare to find a power like yours. Give you this much power and it protect you. So after this fight, I will make sure that it will be mine. Deku tell him as if I'm going to let you have it. You're funny, kid. As if you have a say in it. Then 4 Nomus jump at Deku. He was able to push them back, but they can regenerate, so they keep coming. Deku said screw it and form a light sword. And he started cutting them in half. Then he told them, try coming back from this. Why don't you try this? Deku looked up to see All For One above him, and his hand is a bit bigger. Deku was able to block the attack, but this one is way stronger than the one before. So Deku was sent flying to the ground, but he was able to stick the landing and fly back at All For One and start to fight him. But because All For One is not playing around like All Might did in the finals, Deku cannot land a single hit on him. Sure, All For One is not able to land a decisive blow on Deku, but he's able to deal some damage. Plus with his arsenal quirks, Deku cannot get a good read on him. Plus he started reaching his limits because he fought Muscular and he's fighting All For One right now. 2 very strong people in a short period of time, and that is Deku's kryptonite. After that, All For One pushed him away using an air cannon, so Deku went on one knee and started breathing heavily. And when All For One started getting closer to him, he felt a sudden but huge spike in power. It's Naofumi, he just powered 100% in his leg, completely destroying the bones in it. Naofumi shouted to stay away from him, right, and power up 100% in his right hand. All For One countered this by using his own punch, and when they clashed, they formed a massive shockwave that sent Deku flying. He was able to hold himself mid-flight, but when he looked again at Naofumi, he saw him on the ground, and All For One stepping on him. Deku fly down beside All Might and they start thinking what should they do. All Might is beyond his limits, and if they don't do something quick, All For One will take one for all and kill Naofumi. And after thinking of all of this, Deku closes his eyes and tell them, fine, if it will save them, I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore if I can be a hero or not. Saving my friend and everyone here is my priority right now. Deku started powering up more and more. His aura seems a bit more denser than before. The ground started breaking under him, and right before he screamed, someone threw a bunch of knives at All For One. All For One was able to block them, but they did pierce through his skin. They look where the knives come from and it's stained. Everyone is like, what? Is he the hero killer? Why is he here? And why did he attack All For One? But Stain shut them up by yelling at Deku to not let go of the hero title. Him and All Might are the only ones that are worthy of holding it. Everyone is like, what is going on here? But Deku is a bit shocked hearing this from Stain nonetheless. Well, it's not out of character for him, but him attacking All For One and telling him this did take Deku off guard. So he powered down and started thinking. He's trying his best to forget about everything. The fight, All For One, the situation at hand, everything. Then he asked All Might, can someone be a hero while thinking about himself? All Might tell him, pardon? Deku said his question once again. Please be honest with me. All Might stays silent, then he tell him, here's the thing, young Midoriya, everyone is selfish. There is no human alive that don't think about himself first. And that including me. Sure, maybe I'm strong, maybe I will jump in to save lives. But that doesn't mean I don't think about myself. So to answer your question, yes, you can be selfish. But you have to remember that being a hero is not letting those thoughts cloud your judgment, but using the same emotions to keep moving forward and make yourself the hero that you want to be, not letting other people think you should be. Deku and Stain and everyone else is shocked after All Might's speech. They never thought that All Might have this conviction, for lack of terms. Then Deku closes his eyes and tell All Might, thank you. Then he power up, a massive pillar of light come from him. The ground starts shaking, it's almost like an earthquake. And the ground around Deku starts breaking apart. And he starts glowing more and more, until he's completely covered with white aura. And he slowly flies to the sky, and the pillars start getting smaller and smaller until it forms like a ball around him. Then All Might hear a familiar scream, the same scream that Deku used before he beat him in the finals. But this time when he do, the energy around Deku dispersed and formed a galaxy shape around him. And because the cameras was close to them, it got fried. Everyone is watching in awe with this thing that showed up from nowhere. Then suddenly it disappeared, then nothing. Silence. Then all of one felt something missing beneath his feet. He looked down and there is no Nafumi. Then he started hearing a weird voice behind him, and he never heard this voice before. He looked behind him to see a pure white silhouette holding Nafumi. Then silhouette disappeared once again, appearing in front of All Might. It handed over Nafumi to All Might, and as he does that, the pure white skin started breaking like glass, revealing a shirtless Deku with silver hair. All Might tell him, "Young Midoriya, is that really you?" Deku nod and tell him, "Yes, All Might. This is me, the real me." Then Nafumi smirk and tell him, "I knew that you have it in you." Deku reply, "Yeah, thanks for believing in me. Now leave everything to me. You can rest." Then Deku turned around, looked at All For One, took one step, then he vanished. Then every Nomu in the vicinity exploded. Everyone is thinking, what's going on here? No one saw a thing except for All Might and All For One. They were able to get a glimpse of a white silver flash passing through every Nomu. After that they exploded. After that Deku would slowly turn his head toward All For One and give him a glare. That make All For One take a step back, and he feared the worst. Maybe he can't beat this kid, not anymore. He quickly used his 4 teleportation quirk on Kirigiri, teleporting Shigaraki and his squad away. He started thinking maybe he should go with them, but that thought was quickly shut by Deku grabbing his hands and tell him, "You're not going anywhere." The portal quickly got shut because of that, and All For One tried to attack Deku multiple times, but none of them lands. Then Deku delivered a fierce punch to All For One's stomach that make him go on one knee. All For One is completely shocked and terrified. Where this power is coming from? Then All For One grabbed and tried to attack Deku. But it's no use. Deku is in complete control. When All For One throws a punch, Deku replies by 5 or 6. Deku is relentless. He knows he doesn't have much time in this form, so he make quick work of All For One. Then he grab him by his feet, throw him up in the sky, then he fly at top speed above him, then he form 2 key balls in his hand and fly at top speed at him. He hitting him with them and slamming him against the ground. And this attack left a massive crater, and when the smoke started creating a bit, they saw Deku in his Ultra Instinct form standing, and All For One on the ground either dead or unconscious. And I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? Should I have made Deku weaker than this, or I did justice to him? What will happen next? Leave your thoughts in comments down below, and if you like it, drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. There is more videos like this coming, and like always guys, peace.